Is to discuss and evaluate my training program that I made for Hero to run over the course of 3 months. Overall, I feel that this training program suited Hero and myself very well and that we utilised our time to the best of our ability. The pace of progress throughout this training program was gradual, gave us time to get comfortable with each other and moved at a good pace in terms of when steps up were made to a higher level of competition or certain movements were introduced in greater amount. This training program was devised in order to fit and utilise existing strengths and improve weaknesses of Hero so that set aims could be achieved by certain stages of this specific 3-month time frame. All of the aims set at the start of training were achieved, including riding an elementary test, jumping 85 centimetres and show jumping confidently, improvement of canter quality when working around fences, and rider position effectiveness which influenced the canter. Competing in our first dressage and show jumping competitions at home at Hadlow, I felt this gave us a confidence boost and the chance to familiarise myself with any ways Hero may have acted differently in a show environment, but at home where there is less pressure and familiar surroundings. To my surprise, Hero was not as confident around a competition show jumping course as she was schooling and in lessons, and this may have been down to a different atmosphere and tenser body language from the rider, linking back to the psychology research mentioned earlier in this portfolio. Taking this into account, the next competitions out of Oldham Craig and Felbridge that were scheduled within the first and second month felt as if they were already a large improvement as we were prepared for these differences. I feel the first away competitions in January and February were planned at a good point in the programme and were not too early. Reflecting on this training programme, it would have been desirable to attend more competitions during, but due to the weather at this time of year and lack of competitions in the southeast, this wasn't always possible. I am pleased with the amount we have completed and attended and the results we had achieved, and my aims of us achieving satisfactory marks over 60% in dressage were fulfilled in both novice and elementary level. At the start of the programme post-winter break, Hero's first target was to improve fitness and return to a normal workload, which did not take long. The first few weeks of the programme were spent identifying factors which influenced the choice of aims and getting used to her way of going. I feel we did not click straight away due to rider style and habits and also Hero's characteristics and sensitivity, and so many initial schooling sessions in our own time were spent without stirrups to encourage rider relaxation and also working on a long rein to encourage stretch and suppleness from Hero. Due to the nature of these schooling sessions, I feel this is where a few gaps in the training programme were made, as we would not have achieved the chosen aims had the basics not been established with both horse and rider. These sessions benefited us greatly later on during competitions. There was a set point within the programme when we moved up to elementary level that an adaptation was made in order to improve Hero's straightness, as had we had not focused on this step up to a new level may have resulted in lower marks. The adaptation was to further incorporate the use of counter-canter and varying of trot pace and school figures to encourage more straightness and less inside bend on a straight line, and this then took up a larger amount of time on the programme plan. A study by Clayton et al. 2012 used similar exercises to assess whether speed of trot would reduce the size of degree of movement and improve even symmetry. This study looked at body lean, for example, how Hero tends to overbend to the inside left and fall through outside right shoulder. Results showing head lean was greater than the pelvis area, meaning with Hero less rein contact and greater use of the outside legs are more beneficial in pushing her body around a circle and up the long side of the skull. The training programme suited Hero well and allowed the rider to focus on small areas of weakness that, if improved, would help us gain satisfactory marks in higher level dressage and also allow us to ride a full show jumping course without worrying about the control of the canter too much and let the round flow as much as possible. Hero's tendency to rush related distances occurred a lot less towards the end of the programme, and with more focus on this area it may eventually be eliminated completely, as exercises involving a continuous change of route prevented her from anticipating the next move. Study by Lonell et al. 2013, training routines and duration of exercises used on a show jumping horses were compared to and given a specific time frame in which the horses were ready and fit for competitions, depending on what training they had done. Ridden work, lunging and treadmill work were all used, and this raises the question of how much more effective would Hero's training programme have been if lunging was used and treadmill access was available. The results of this study show that there is still no certain answer as to what types of exercise prepare the horse equally for competition. When looking at other equine training programs, most span over a larger time frame. For example, in a study by Hodgson and Rose 1987, the training program took place over 9 months rather than 3, meaning more time for improvement and further progress. This study looked at muscle development and composition, meaning a longer time frame was necessary to see a significant difference in the horse visually and during performance, as well as in samples taken throughout. The study showed an increase in muscle fibres at different stages of the program, and also showed how much each figure returned to its pre-programmed state after a period of 3 months without training. This shows how a well-planned training regime can have significant effects on the horse, whether it is muscle growth, fitness or performance. And as well as these results, the study also showed how enzymes within the samples taken from the horse's gluteal muscles increased throughout training and continue to do so after the 9 months. Despite it not being the aim of this study, the research does show how large amounts of development and progress can be made in longer periods of time. Therefore, I feel if Hero's 3-month program were to be 6 months long, more progress may have been made in specific areas for improvement, and her program could be made including her fitness levels. Person level equality for competition, and throughout this program this has been displayed and improved as the program has progressed. A study by Visser et al. 2008 assessed cooperation between horse and rider and how it may be influenced by temperament of the horse. In this case, Hero is a mare who can at times display marish behaviours during work. The psychological effect of injury, stress, and frustrations of not getting something quite right can all have a huge impact on ridden work, and the results of this study shows how rider emotions can sometimes have an effect on more emotion reactive characteristic horses. I feel I have gotten on well with Hero, and we did not have this type of mental barrier to overcome. However, there has been times where rider style has clashed with the horse's way of going. This program has enabled me to adapt my style as a rider to suit the horse, and may have also helped Hero in terms of adapting slightly to different riders, which is ideal for the work she does at the college, where there are many different riders with different abilities.